The story of Mann-Simons really begins in 1799. That's the year Celia Mann was born in Charleston. She was born a slave. She acquired her freedom, we're not sure how, made her way to Columbia. And with her came Ben Delane at a different point. He was also a slave in Charleston, born in 1800. He was a boatman. He bought his freedom, came to Columbia, and he's the one that actually purchased this property that allowed for future generations to achieve so much. Celia passes away in 1867. She had 4 daughters, 3 of which, according to family history, went to Boston and crossed the color line. Agnes Jackson stayed behind and inherited the property we have today. The original house that Celia and Ben would have had is no longer here. And the house here, the one standing, was built sometime in the 1870s or 1880s. And it represents kind of the second generation of family on the site. And with Agnes, she had 7 children. Her children went on to run lunch counters, stay in the restaurant business, the grocery business. One daughter appears to be buying and selling properties around Columbia. They were able to achieve, as I said, a diverse range of social aspirations using this property as a foundation. And actually, with the house right here, right in the corner, and I would be standing on the wall right now, was where their lunch counter was at. And as I said, it's a 16 by 16 foot structure, and it would have been a walk-up affair. And it was in operation from 1891 to 1909. In 1909 it burned, and it was rebuilt just actually down the street in Marion Street. On the other side of the house was a grocery store. And it was a very thin shotgun structure, long and narrow. And that was built, the structure was built sometime also in the 1870s or 1880s. And in 1901 it became a grocery store, and Charles Simons ran it, the son of Agnes Jackson. When he ran it until his death in 1933, his wife Amanda Simons ran it into the 1940s, and then they rented the building out from there. Probably one of the most significant finds that we had at the site was a trash pit associated with the lunch counter the family had in operation between 1891 and 1909. And in a nutshell, in 1909, the counter caught fire. Probably not enough to burn it to the ground, but enough they would have had to have rebuilt. So what they did was dig a big pit behind it, gut the interior, dropped the contents into the pit, capped it with clay, and put new topsoil on. And the result is a material snapshot of that lunch counter exactly as it was the day it caught fire. And there's only been 3 other these small lunch counters excavated in the United States. This is being the 3rd, and is probably the most complete picture of the operations of the counter. Preservation was wonderful, and so from the faunal remains, the bones, we know that they were serving chicken. There was evidence of 1 turkey. They were seasoning with club sauce and lots of McCormick spices, the same spice company that's still in business today, serving beer and root beer. Most of the goods were market goods. There were some preservation or preserves. Aside from the zinc lid, it's almost exactly like the ones today. This is an iced tea tumbler, but it's just the name for the form of bottle. This is a mustard jar. And there were lots of pickles and olive jars. And so in this example, this is a pickle jar, but it's actually a jar of pickles that was imported from England. Knives with wooden handles, iron blades, pewter. The dishes they would have been serving on are much like you'd still see today, just plain wares. And so the interior of the counter, we actually have this mortar with plaster remains, but also the paint. Yellow and red interior, yellow exterior, and then it had these green tiles. And as a patina today, it wouldn't have had that shine then. And these are tiles that were produced in Trenton, New Jersey by the Trent Tile Company. So it was a very bright interior. Perhaps the most intriguing find is this small revolver, Bakelite grips. This came out of a trash pit in the backyard that was created sometime between 1908 and 1909. It's rare to find a firearm in the archaeology because you can always sell it. They're not disposable goods. But even more intriguing about this one is it's loaded, it's .22 caliber, loaded, and it's cocked. It raises a lot of questions, and of course we don't know why somebody would have thrown this away. Some of the other goods that they had, actually here, looking much like today's toothbrushes. There's a toothbrush that broke, they threw it away. But this is actually a bone toothbrush. Bone was a very common material to use things. It was plentiful and very inexpensive. And so you find lots of toothbrushes, buttons, grooming goods. This one though, and it's difficult to see without bright light and a microscope or a magnifying glass, it's embossed, or it's engraved. And it says extra fine Paris. It's an imported French toothbrush made of bone. They have a remarkable record of children's toys and objects just associated with children. And so this is a cast iron bank in the shape of a bank. It would have had a bolt to go here, you put in your coins and fill it up. It was made by the A.C. Williams Company, which is actually still in business today.